First, I want to express my gratitude to Nate for sharing his story. It gave me the courage to tell mine. Today is June 29th, 2025, and after holding it in for so long, I'm finally ready to speak my truth. My ex-girlfriend was a nurse. We were together for 4.5 years. She cheated on me multiple times, and though I didn't realize it then, she poisoned me twice. It still feels unreal to say those words out loud. I'm just thankful to still be alive. It all began when I was working as a manager at a retail store. One day, this stunning blonde woman walked in wearing a nurse's uniform. Our eyes met, and the connection was instant. She became a regular customer, and our conversations grew more personal over time. But eventually, I found out she had a boyfriend. That caught me off guard, especially because she often flirted with me and even brought me coffee a few times. Then one day, she gave me her number and said things were over with her boyfriend, but he was still living with her because he had nowhere else to go. She even invited me over while he was at work. I declined, telling her I couldn't be involved with someone who still had their ex under the same roof. About a week later, she told me she kicked him out. I believed her, but I later discovered she was still secretly paying his phone bill behind my back, even after we became official. My commentary: if that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. Our relationship began with intense passion. We had sex almost daily and all over the house. But over time, I noticed she was extremely possessive. Anytime I had to travel for work, she insisted I FaceTime her to prove no woman was in my hotel room. She didn't want me having any female friends, or even hanging out with my male friends unless she was present. Yet she herself had a male best friend and often went out for girls' nights with her nurse colleagues. She'd tell me they were at some dive bar that barely anyone went to. I trusted her. Looking back, I was completely under her spell. A year into our relationship, her male best friend invited us bowling. I had to work late and couldn't go, but she insisted on going without me. I told her I wasn't comfortable with her being alone with him. Her response? You. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my dad. Then she hung up. My commentary: that would have been the end for me. Her words said everything I needed to know. I called her again, but it went straight to voicemail. After work, I went home in shock. The next morning, before leaving for work, I decided to stop by her place to clear the air. What I saw changed everything. Her male best friend was passed out in the middle of her bed. She was lying next to him. Condoms littered the floor. We never used condoms, so I immediately knew something was wrong. I took a photo. The dim light captured both of them in what looked like a post-sex haze. She woke up and said, "It's not what you think. He's going through a breakup and needed a place to stay." I didn't say a word. I walked out, turned off my phone, and went to work. The text messages that followed were a whirlwind of apologies, accusations, and pleas for me to meet up. A few days later, I agreed to meet her at a public place. She said they bowled for hours and drank too much. She accused me of being controlling and said I was projecting my insecurities. I reminded her of her double standards and asked why her best friend was in her bed. She claimed they always slept in the same bed since college, but it was strictly platonic. I wanted to believe her. I still loved her. During dinner, I excused myself to the restroom. But before I could get up, I felt violently ill. My ears buzzed. I started sweating uncontrollably. I told her I needed air and barely made it to my car. I could hardly speak or stay conscious. She followed me and said she knew exactly how to help. Using supplies from a nearby convenience store, she nursed me back to stability in the parking lot. I ended up going home with her, convinced again that she cared for me. Months passed. I moved into her place. And that's when everything truly unraveled. My commentary: moving in was a mistake, and I knew it, but love can blind you to red flags. Our sex life disappeared. She became glued to her phone, always hiding the screen, always turning it face down. Her girls' nights became more frequent. I confronted her with my suspicions. She snapped, your gut. Then she demanded to check my phone. I agreed, knowing I had nothing to hide. She found nothing and still accused me of cheating. I didn't check hers. I still respected her privacy. But one night, while she slept, I gave in to my gut. I checked her phone.
What I found shattered me.
Messages to her ex-boyfriend. She missed him. She had just paid his phone bill. She sent him lingerie pictures I had never seen. She never wore lingerie for me. Worse, texts between her and her male best friend mocked me. 2 other guys had flirty exchanges with her in her Instagram DMs. I waited until morning to confront her. I told her everything I saw. She exploded. You had no right to go through my phone. Then she lunged at me and yelled, "You dumbass," and asterisk, 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 asterisk with a hard R. I froze. As a black man, I had never been called that word by someone I loved. She immediately apologized, saying she was just angry. She said she loved only me. But I knew the truth. She was cheating, and I lacked the courage to leave. I told her I needed space. I stayed with a friend for a few days. When I returned that weekend, she made dinner and apologized for emotional cheating. She swore nothing physical had happened with her ex and that she paid his phone bill out of guilt. I wanted to believe her again. But as I ate, I began feeling that same sick, buzzing sensation. I tried to walk to the bathroom, but my legs gave out. I collapsed down the stairs, cutting my face. I was vomiting black. She barely helped. She refused to call 911. She didn't want me going to the hospital, where she worked. I finally made it to bed and blacked out. The next morning, I dragged myself to urgent care. They treated me for nausea and bandaged my face, but I declined tests, still in denial. When I returned home, she freaked out. What did they say? Did they test you for anything? Her panic was suspicious. It hit me. She might have poisoned me twice. Once during that dinner. Once the year prior when I thought about breaking up. She was a nurse. She had access to everything. But I still didn't leave. I watched her more closely. Her work hours were off. She came home late, often well after her shift ended. Girls' nights became more suspicious. One night, she stumbled in at 3 a.m. with a mark on her neck. She said it was a bee sting. I grabbed her phone. She had been on a Tinder date. I caught her, but she still lied.
She said they didn't have sex.
She blamed me for being boring in bed. We'd only had sex 3 times that entire year. I ended it. But even then, it wasn't over. She harassed me with calls, texts, and emails. She publicly posted on Facebook, painting me as a neglectful, unsupportive boyfriend. She claimed I abandoned her during stressful times in her nursing job. I blocked her. But I realized I left behind a family heirloom when I moved out. I asked her father to help retrieve it. She said I could only have it back if I got back with her. I had to hire a lawyer and pay $900 before she finally gave it up. She also left a box of keepsakes and a letter. I threw it all away. After years of betrayal, manipulation, and near-death experiences, I was finally free. Thank you, Tony, for letting me share my story. I was ashamed for a long time because I had lost all respect for myself. I allowed someone I loved to nearly destroy me twice. To any man reading this, trust your gut. Vet the people you bring into your life. Red flags don't disappear, they grow. My commentary: we all make mistakes when love clouds our judgment. But if your partner shows serious red flags, do not ignore them. And remember, no man is born an alpha. We become one by learning from pain.